everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a makeup monthly video, and I definitely have seen a lot of people's shop my stash videos. I don't usually watch them, but I've seen that they're posted. But I've been watching Alexa Chan Blake's channel, and she does this, and it really inspired me to put together a collection of makeup that I want to focus on because it's just my favorite makeup, as well as makeup that I'd like to use up for my project pan, and just keep it all in one nice little space that I can easily grab and then use on a day-to-day basis. So I have just this janky little cardboard box that I got a Beautylish order in that I'm using for now. Eventually, I'll probably get an actual nice makeup storage kit. But this is doing the trick for now until it falls apart. So let's go ahead and get started and see what's in this month's makeup monthly kit. Okay, so I'm going to start with my foundations, and I have the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. I have it in two shades. This is Macao, and this is Moorea. I mix these to get the perfect depth that I need, but the correct undertone that I need. And I really love this formula. This is in my project pan. It's older and it needs to be used up before it goes bad. I'm about halfway through, and this one is new. I've only had it for a couple of months. The next product I have here is also Nars, and this is the Radiant Creamy Color Corrector. I got it in the shade Medium Deep. So I've been testing this out, and so far I will say that yes, it does neutralize like the hyperpigmentation or darker spots, but the formula itself I don't think I like, and it has a lot of shimmer to it, which I find to be very bizarre for this type of product. But I'm going to focus on it for this month and see if it's something I'm going to be able to ignore and keep on using, or if I'm just going to declutter it because I don't like it. The next thing I have is also from Nars. This is the Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Amande. This is just the mini one, and I am going to try to use this up in January. Next, I have a primer from Hourglass. This is the Vanish Airbrush Primer. And it's hard to see where I am. I think maybe around here. I got this, I think I got like a coupon from Ulta for like $10 off of 50 or something, so I picked this up. I had a sample and I really enjoyed it. I don't use this all over the face most of the time, just kind of focus in the area with kind of pores, or if there's lines that I want to kind of smooth over, but it looks really good under certain foundations and helps just give you that nice smooth canvas. So I'd like to focus on getting that used. Because there's another primer from them that I would like to try eventually once that one is gone. I have three mascaras, let me pull those out, that I'm going to be focusing on. The first one is MAC Stack Mascara, and the next one is Pat McGrath's Dark Star Mascara. And the last one is the Benefit Bad Girl Bang Mascara. These have all already been opened and used, and I want to use them up before they go bad. I have other mascaras that I've recently discovered through samples that I just really love and want to switch over to, but not before I use up those products and make sure I'm getting my money's worth and nothing's going to waste. Then the next couple things I have, so I've got some Charlotte Tilbury powders. So this is the Airbrush bronzer in the shade 3. So I've got a dip in that. I'd like to use that up this year. So this is going to be something I focus on to get that used up. I've had it for a few years now, and I'd like to try some new products, but I want to use that up first. I have also the Charlotte Tilbury Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer, also in the shade 3 Tan, and that has got a dip in it. This is one of my favorite bronzers in my collection, and so this is something I just kind of default reach for, and I will sometimes layer this one on top or others, and it just works really well together. It's such a beautiful neutral shade that's great for all different types of looks. I have a Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish face powder in the shade 4 Deep that I use as a setting powder. I have drier skin. I don't wear a ton of powder on top of my foundation because I don't want it to get dried out or cakey looking, but this is a very nice one. It does give a nice blurred, smooth finish to the skin. You can see I already have a big pan in there, and so I'd like to finish that up this year. Okay, let's move on to, let's see here. I have this Max Fix Plus. This is not the actual lavender one. That one's all gone. This has just been refilled with regular Fix Plus, and I have more of it. This is just something that I've revisited recently and started using again, not as a setting spray, but as a melt my makeup together after I powder before I go on with a actual setting spray, and I have been liking it a lot. So I'm glad to have brought MAC Fix Plus back into my collection after so many years. Let's see, what's next? Let's do some blushes. So this is new to my collection. This is the MAC Glow Play Blush in the shade Pinch of Marrakesh. I've already used this a bit, but I really am enjoying the formula so far. So I just want to make sure it's something I don't forget about, which happens a lot. I go on like a blush kick and then I won't wear blush for years. So I just want to make sure I don't do that because I really like it. I want to get my money's worth out of it. And especially before it starts to get gross because it is that kind of like creamy putty texture. The next one is also a MAC blush, and this is in the shade Desert Rose. This is a nice kind of dusky rosy pink shade. I like this for makeup looks so that I'm wearing that have maybe a cooler or more neutral undertone so they don't clash with something that tends to be warmer. And I do tend to like cooler, more neutral shades more often than I do warm. And the last one I have is from Haus Labs. Everybody was talking about this blush. I was super curious about it. This is the only product from Haus Labs I've tried so far. And this is in the shade Fire Moon. And I really do like this so far. I've worn it a few times and it's a really nice shade. And again, I want to make sure I don't forget about it. So I'm going to put it in my Makeup Monthly. And this will be for the days when I just want like a nice, soft, more natural, neutral blush. Next, I have a face palette. This is from Hourglass, and this is from the 2023 holiday, I believe. I think this is 2023. So I have the Jellyfish container, but this is actually what I believe is the snake color story, the darkest color story. So I do wear this quite a bit already. I really do like these formulas. Every single shade in here works for me. I love the bronzer. I love this finishing powder. Oopsies. Let me stand that up. So I just want to make sure it doesn't get forgotten about and does get good use still, especially since I've recently gotten back into makeup and haven't purchased a lot, but I've purchased a few things, and I have a habit of the older products just starting to collect dust while I work on the new things, and I want to make sure I don't do that anymore. So I'm going to be making sure I reach for that this month. Let's move on to, oh wait, I've got a highlighter here. This is the Bobbi Brown highlighter in Bronze Glow. I've had this for a long time. It's time to use it up. And make sure it's getting its proper wears. It's a gorgeous color. I love it. It looks beautiful on every time I wear it. I have the Pat McGrath Labs Under Eye Powder in the shade Deep. And this is one that I'm trying to pan, I think, this year. I don't wear a lot of under eye concealer, but whenever I do, this is what I've been reaching for to set it. And I just want to make sure that I focus on it and get it used up because I've had it for definitely over a year now, and for a while there, I wasn't reaching for it at all, which was such a waste. And I think the final kind of face product I have is another Hourglass product. This is the Ambient Lighting palette in Volume 3. This is one that they came out with for deeper skin. I will say Volume 2 also works fine. depending on, again, how you use it, where you use it, if you're using it more of as like a finishing powder, and the bronzer shade, probably not great for deeper skin, but if you mix them all together and you can kind of highlight and get a nice glow and blend buff all your other cheek products together. But this is the only one that I have so far. I'm still deciding if I want to actually purchase volume 2, because I already have 1 or 2 of those shades that are in that one. But I love this one. This is really good for medium deep to deep skin tones. I think like this highlighter is a little deep for me to just wear on its own. So that tells me it'd be really beautiful on deeper skin tones than my own. But they have 2 different finishing powders in here, which is good for, I think, anybody with a medium deep to deep skin tone, depending on how you use it. If I use this one, which is, what is that medium shade called? Transcendent Light on its own, I tend to use it as a bronzer. Eternal Light, I will use more as a finishing powder. But how I tend to use all of them is I take my bronzer brush and just mix it in all 3 shades and use it to kind of top on my bronzer that I'm wearing that day. And it just gives it this kind of nice, soft, blurred glow that I really love. So this is one of my favorites. I reach for it quite a bit, and so I thought it'd be appropriate to put it in my Makeup Monthly. Let's move on to a couple of eyeshadow palettes. So I have one here from Sigma. This is the Creme Brulée. This is a little quad they have, and I think it's so beautiful. And I had to wait for it to come back in stock. Sigma was not an eyeshadow brand I had tried. I had some of their brushes, but not any of their cosmetics. So I was really curious about this quad. Got it. I've worn it once or twice and I like it. And I want to make sure it gets more wears and doesn't just get used once or twice and then tossed, because that's such a waste. The next palette I have is the Natasha Denona Mini My Dream palette. And I've already used this a few times this month, and it's really beautiful. I wasn't sure how it would work on deeper skin when it first launched, but actually I think it's fine. It has this really nice deepening shade. This mid-tone shade actually shows up just fine, and I've used this on the lid and as a brow highlight. I don't use it as a crease shade. I haven't tried it yet anyway. But all these shades work. I've liked the looks I've done with them. I've done all matte looks. I've done a shimmer look. I've done a halo eye. So I just want to make sure it gets some love, because these are easy to forget about because they're so tiny. And then my big boy palette here. This is the Pat McGrath Labs palette, and this is number, which one is this one? Number 10, Moonlit Seduction. So I want to make sure I don't like blind anybody with this. Here we go. So this is one that I bought. It's really beautiful. I like the color story. I wish one of these 2 Ready Pink shades was something different. Maybe a more neutral mid-tone brown shade would have been appropriate and nice. But it's a really beautiful color story. I've already worn it a couple times this month, and I just need to make sure I reach for it, because even though I did get it on a good sale, good deal, they're still expensive, and I want to make sure I'm using my makeup. So I will be focusing on that this month as well. And now on to, oh, I almost forgot. I've got this little Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in the shade 6.5. Project Panning this. So I'm putting that in my box for this month. I think it's a beautiful product. I really do enjoy it. So now let's move on to, oh, that's not supposed to be in there. Some lipsticks. I have 2, both from MAC. So this is the shade O, and this is a Frost. And I love this color, and I need to reach for it more often. Every time I put it on, I love it, but I just am not great about reaching for lipsticks. And then the other one I have from MAC is from the Aaliyah collab that they did years and years ago. This is in the shade Try Again. This is a really beautiful neutral nude matte shade that I also love. So I want to use that up before they expire. I have this MAC Prep and Prime for my lips that I want to use up. I've had this for a long, long, long time, and so it needs to get used up before it goes bad. And I have a NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Cinnamon Roll. I have multiple backups of this. I love this shade. I love the formula, I love the color, and you can't beat the price. So whenever these go on sale, I tend to pick up a couple, but this one's been open for a while, so it's time to use it up before it starts to get gross. I have a Pat McGrath lip gloss in the shade Faux Real. This is about half used up. I have a backup. Needs to get used up. I've had it for a couple years. This is one of my favorite go-to glosses. I just have so many lipsticks and lip glosses that declutter's coming next. So things tend to get lost in the shuffle. But this is one I want to use up, so I'm going to be focusing on that this month. From MAC, I have this Squirt Plumping Lip Gloss Stick. I like the color. I like the way it looks on my lips. But the way it behaves, it's so squishy, right? And a lot of people have complained about that. As soon as you put it on any type of pressure, it starts to smush and slide and melt all over the place, which is super annoying. So I'm going to try to use that up. It will not be repurchased, not because I don't like the results of the product, but just because it's so messy to manage. And once you click it up, you can't click it back down. I don't tend to like products like that very much anyway. And the last three I have are lip glasses from MAC. I have the shade Steel Kiss. This is a beautiful kind of frosty, taupey, brownie pink shade with some sparkle in it. I have the shade Spite. I've gone through a couple of those Steel Kisses. I've gone through a couple of Spites. This has been open for a while, so again, needs to get used up before it gets gross. And then the last one is Bittersweet Me. And this is another kind of cool toned brownie pink shade. It's stunning. I love it. Again, it's been open for a while, so I need to use it up. Make sure it doesn't go bad. Okay, so here is all the makeup that is in my January makeup monthly kit. It's quite a bit, but I'm optimistic. I've already been playing around with it a lot this month and been really happy with the results, just kind of experimenting, relearning how to do complexion. My eyeshadow looks I've been doing for a long time, and I always have felt comfortable with that. But complexion products are something that I've just recently gotten into. I used to just wear a little bit of foundation, a little bit of powder, and that was it. Bronzers, highlighters, contours, cream products are all fairly new to me, and I'm just now kind of really learning what I like, how I like to apply it, what brushes and other tools I like to use to apply it with. And it's just been really a lot of fun playing with makeup again. All right, that's all I have for you today. If you have any recommendations for me, please leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one. Please like and subscribe. Bye.